Hi ladies, Juan Jose here, Amy Lee, Twin City Adventure Boot Camp. Alright, today I'm going to get a little bit serious. I'm going to talk about something that I really feel just needs to be talked about. The other day when we were doing weighing and measurements, we noticed that there was, some members that were a bit discouraged with their results. And I just wanted to touch base on that and really talk about it and really just show you guys some support and also give you guys some insight on how to avoid this in the future. So first of all, we have to acknowledge that this is something new. It's a change. And change is a process. It's not an immediate event. It's not something that happens overnight. We have to understand that first and foremost, people don't get out of shape overnight. So you're not going to get right back in shape overnight either, or even a month or 2 months, like some of you guys have been with us. And we just have to understand, coming to camp consistently, like some of you do, is a big step in the right direction, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're trying to change your lifestyle, and we also have to understand that there's more to it than that. Meaning that that's just one piece of the puzzle. At the end of the day, really. That's why I've always been talking about how are you eating? How are you eating? How are you eating? That's why when everybody says to me, or how do I do this, or how do I, that's always right. What I focus on is what are you eating? How are you eating? And to me, it's a lot of. I hear a lot of trainers say, that it's X amount percentage of training, and then X amount of percentage of nutrition. In my eyes, I really believe that it's like 30-40% training and like 70-60 or whatever. Alright, this is why I'm never the one talking. Nutrition. Alright, and I say that because, from my personal experience and what I've seen other people do, like under my guidance, is a lot of the times it really comes down to, I've got to teach you the right ways to train and help you implement that, but at the same time I've also got to teach you and guide you on how to eat properly alongside your workouts, because that is the biggest way. That's the biggest thing. Like, you can work out all day and be sore the next day, but at the end of the day, if you're going home and shoveling ice cream down your mouth, that's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And it's just like, it's sometimes, I want to call people out because I see them stressed out. Like, I see them busting their butt at camp, and at the same time I see them posting on Facebook like, big bowl of something because they're at whatever restaurant with their friends. And that's understandable. That's living a normal life, I guess, right? But at the end of the day, it's like we've got to understand that you've got to be strategic with things, all right? And that's why I'm always trying to teach you guys that there's no possible way, all right? There's really no way to target fat loss in a specific area. And I say that because, for years, like, I've been getting questions, even recently. It was something like, is this something I can do at home? To target my abs or something like that, because that's really where I gain weight at. And you've got to understand, for one thing, women in general, all right, generally speaking, yes, that's where you're going to gain weight at dominantly, is in your waist and hips region. That's just what you guys are predisposed to. That's just how it is. All right, genetically, that's just how it is. All right, but you got to understand that, okay, you can't just lose fat in a specific area, okay? When you lose fat all over, okay? And that's just that. There's no such thing. So don't believe the myths and anything that you read in some magazine or anything like that, because it's really marketing and they're trying to sell you something, okay? And I'm just being honest with you. There's no way to do that. And you can look at the science and it'll prove it to you, because I'm just telling you the truth, all right? I don't have nothing to sell you. I'm just telling you the truth about this, okay? And really, we just have to understand that at the end of the day, what we ultimately need to do is focusing on lowering your body fat percentage, all right? And that's why we're always, when we do the measurements, that's what we're looking at. So after you lower the body fat percentage, then you go back and you start working on, fine-tuning those areas that you want to improve, whether it's, your hips, your waist, your stomach, whatever it is, you know, your triceps, whatever it is, that's when you go back after you get your body fat percentage into, you know, a good range for your body. So here's some ways that you're going to be able to reach your goals, stay motivated, and, you know, get to where you want to get. All right. First and foremost, you've got to set a goal. And a lot of us just be like, yeah, I want to lose 10 pounds. You know, and we can all just say what we want to do. But just like any real goal, okay, you really, if you don't put, you know, some type of expiration date on it, I guess, you know, it's not a goal, it's a dream. All right, it's a wish. All right, but if you say, I'm going to do such and such by such and such date, now you have a deadline, and now it's got to be done by that date. Just like at work, when you receive a task that has a due date, you work hard to get it done by that due date. And it's the same way in fitness, the same way. So an example would be, you know, I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to get into this old pair of jeans by, you know, Christmas. All right, and that's what I'm saying. You set that realistic goal with a specific time frame, and that is what you shoot for. So you might, you know, you might have that set of pair of jeans out, like, you know what I mean? I know it might sound foolish, but drape it over a chair or something like that. So every morning, you know, you wake up and you see those pair of jeans. I want to get into those pair of jeans. You know, and you can go back and you can try them on, you know, every week, try them on. How much closer am I? How much closer am I? Okay, I got to work harder. And that's what I'm saying. Like, those are things like that are going to motivate. So in order to achieve the goal, all right, you need a couple things, all right? You need accountability, okay? An example of accountability would be like, you know, you miss a day of camp, you got to put $5 into a jar or something, you know, or $10 into a jar. Or you just got to do something, you hold yourself accountable, basically, you know what I mean? Like, you do something that you don't want to do, and it's got to be something that you've got to hold yourself to. You've got to do it, all right? It's like, you know, just at the end of the day, I always find that when I'm dealing with my kids, you know, they respond better to rewards and like praise, you know what I mean? So it's really just like that for people in general. It really is, you know. You guys probably don't notice it, but when I say good job to you at camp, or Amy says good job to you at camp, it's like, you know, we see your faces light up, and you know, it really. So another thing that you can do is you got to find your motivation. You figure out, you know, what do I like best? Whether it's, you know, a cheat meal, or whether it's like your favorite pastime, you know, you treat yourself to that. So let's say an example would be, you know, you go to camp every single day of the week. Then it's like the reward on that is you treat yourself to that cheat meal, or it's like, you know what, I have an hour of free time and this is what I'm going to do. You know, you do something that you haven't got to do or you've been wanting to do, and that right there, it's like you've got to celebrate that. You've got to celebrate your achievements, you know what I mean? And that would apply the same thing to going back to, you know, getting into those pair of jeans. You know, you've got to celebrate when you do reach that goal. Another thing which is really, really important, and we're always doing our best to breathe life into this at camp, is support. All right, and that's something that we're always trying to do our best as, you know, your coaches, as well as we're always trying to, you know, just teach our other members to support one another, because we find that, you know, when people have support, they're more motivated to achieve whatever it is that they're doing. You know, like, just like if someone's screaming your name, you know, and they're holding that plank, you know, and they're waiting on you to get back, which I'm sure all of you probably have experienced this by now. You know, you finished through whatever it is that you started, and at the end of the day, you know, support is a big deal when accomplishing any goal. So especially with this type of goal, you know, really, I think we give you a lot of support at camp, but, you know, it's got to be at home too. And really what I suggest is, you know, you've got to express to your family how important it is that you achieve this goal. You know, like, we've talked to some members, and it's just like, you know, they really tell us, like, you know, how they spend time, you know, crying with themselves and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to, you know, that's not a bad thing, but it's just like and it's like, the reason why I'm saying is because these are things that it's like, some of you aren't sharing with your spouses or with your kids or something like that, so they don't know how serious this is to you. And if you express that to somebody who loves you genuinely, you know, they're really going to be there for you, and they're going to do their best, you know, not to open that bag of chips in front of you or something like that, because they know it's going to tempt you, you know. And you've really got to reach out to them and ask them for their help, you know. And that's really what it comes down to, you know. If you implement those things in your life, you know, you're going to achieve the goal. And I know it's tough, you know. It's like I deal with it myself personally. We all, you know, everybody in my family eats terribly, you know, and you've got to understand that, first of all, you know, you're the mother of the family, you're the matriarch of the family, all right? So it's like, at the end of the day, you know, you got some say in what's going on in the house, especially when it comes down in the kitchen, I would think, all right? So you've got to position yourself as the authority when it comes to, you know, who's eating what, and you've got to express them. It's because I care about you, you know what I mean? Like, if you just let your kids or your husband or whatever eat whatever they want, you know, they're going to end up obese, and they're going to end up with some type of disease, or they're just going to, you know, not really move around enough. And that's the thing. It's like, who wants to be, you know, limited when it comes to spending time with their families and things like that, because they're just, you know, overweight and can't really move around that well and just struggling to breathe. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. You can be the conduit, the middleman to your family of, you know, sharing the information that we share with you. You know what I mean? And bringing in the right type of foods and educating them about why it's important to eat these foods, you know, and why we don't want to be overweight. You know, so, you know, look at it. You know, I know that it's hard, you know, to follow the advice, all right? But I feel that it's really not. I really think it's a mental thing. You know what I mean? It's about really wanting it. And you know, we've had a lot of members who do their best to follow the advice, and Renee is one of them. And I asked Renee if I could share this information for this specific reason. You know what I mean? Renee has told me that for the past month she's been doing her best to follow the advice that I've given you guys, that I gave you guys at the nutrition seminar, just like the times that we spend after camp. All that same advice, she's been following all that same advice. Alright, so her results of this month, alright, after her weighing and measuring for 1 month, okay, she lost 2.9% body fat, she lost 7.6 pounds, and 4.5 inches all around. Alright, so, and that, I'm pretty sure she lost the most weight. I think she's the biggest loser for this. She's the biggest loser for this month. So that just goes to show that following the advice that I share with you guys, it really does work. You know, it's not just, you know, something that I'm just throwing at you or anything like that. It really does work. There's a lot of science behind it. I just don't really, you know, say all that stuff because you guys don't really need to know that. You know, but it's all proven, results-driven information, you know, and that's what I'm saying. That right there just goes to show that it really does work, you know. It's just how bad do you want it? And you've got to try. I don't know.
We're here for you.
We are. We're here for you.
And that's what we're here for, is to help you out, to help you get these kind of results that Renee got following what Juan Jose tells her.
So go ahead, wrap it up.
So, take care until we see you ladies again. Enjoy your break. Miss us because we're missing you. We will see you soon. Amy Lee and Juan Jose signing out.